Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we're taking a look at the elimination battles from Straight Woman Fighter Season 2. I know this is going to be between Leadybaunce and Mannequin. I did hear that Wolflow was the crew that ranked 6th, so they were automatically eliminated. Part of me wishes that I could have seen a Mannequin Wolflow mashup. That would have been so cool, but I am excited to take a look at some Leadybaunce versus Mannequin battles. It's gonna be great, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. Let's get started.
누가 나가 여기서? 아 이민아 너다 완전히 내 노래.
Come on,
내가
girl.
나가야지.
Come on, Cera.
세라가 나와서 발로 또 조지겠구나.
유진아 가자.
I hate it when you hit and reach. 5, 4, 3, 2. Your theories catch fire. Theories catch fire. Theories catch fire. I can't 2, 1.
Wow.
이겼어.
Brilliant.
Which?
Brilliant from Cera.
Leadybaunce, Vessi.
기리면 나갈래? 메시 나가 메시?
그 음악에 제가 나갈 수밖에 없었어요.
Okay. So Mannequin has to go first every time.
자 나갈까? 오케이. 너가 나갈래? 나 나가?
The song is Violet. Come on, Whaackxxy. I don't think they've heard this song before.
Mannequin what?
Feeling so tall, I could give a high five to
The
the
Violet.
Feeling so tall, I could to the pilot. Yeah. Feeling so tall, I could give a high five to the pilot.
Whoa!
I keep small sugar like island.
Ah!
Box full of contracts I signed with a stylist. Yeah, blue faces blowing up like violet.
아직도 관절이 건강하다. 헤이야.
Blue faces blowing up like violet. Talk about the things they're gonna say when they see me, and when they see me, they just dab me up and say good to meet me. I keep it going, flowing over this. And
This little track, this little bit right here.
줄 자신이 없죠.
They talk about when I'm
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That was so good. I love this track, guys. It's such a good track.
죽고 나서 내가 나가야겠다라고 생각하는 게 사실 상대가 누구여도 상관없었어.
I know. I'd be shocked if either of them knew this track. Being honest, it's too. I don't think it's not mainstream enough. I'm actually surprised this is on the show right now.
Feeling so tall, I could give a high five to the pilot. So tall, I could give a high five. So tall, I could give a high five.
The Violet.
Feeling so tall, I could give a high five to the pilot. Yeah, family tight, I keep small sugar like island.
5,
Inbox full of
4,
contracts I
3,
signed with a
2,
stylist.
1. Mannequin, Yoonji.
Woo!
진짜 내 노래다. 이번에 내가 끝내야지.
Everything shot. Just wine and bend over. Giving to the beat of the soca. Do it all the
근데 이 분위기 레바콜로 갖고 와야지 아타카는 위험하고.
레이디바운스.
Girls from Trinidad, girl from the Yoga. Girls from Trinidad, girl from the Yoga. Girl from
Wow.
Trinidad, girl from Toga.
Girl, like,
우리가 봤어요.
Bumper spin like the beam of a roller. Damn your beauty. Them say no see me cast in the shoulder. Bumper spin like the beam of a roller. Damn your beauty, I'm the beholder. Love when you bend and you whine and watch over. We fly right to the bicycle, buck off, 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 right to the bicycle,
2, 1, better.
oh, bless America. That was so good. Okay. Bringing it back. Here we go. A 3v3 relay. This was freaking sick right here. Man, I mean, bless it. I love it. Firstly, I love this element integrated here is that it's either you know the song or you don't. And I think it's a situation where each crew knew 2 of the 3 songs. I don't think either of them knew that middle song. I did though, and I'm actually very surprised by that because of the type of track that it is. It's more of a, I think the person who's an artist of it was he took the TikTok route, I think, but I really don't know enough of him personally to be able to like really make that call if that's the case. But it's definitely, I have heard that song before, but it's definitely not one that I've heard on the radio at all. So super cool to see that here. We spin, Man Queen has to go first. It's either good or a bad thing. But it was quite magical. Each round the Man Queen did, it just like, they just kind of built on top of each other, and that's very difficult to do in this way, and each track was just fire in their own way. The first track was super cool. This right here, Cera coming out. They had to take a listen. They're like, oh, we know this song. Cera's like, I got it. I love it. Now, normally when you see Cera, how she chooses to approach herself, like how she walks out, is something we're very used to. We're used to seeing her tone of posture, right? How she hits things. But what's nice is there's always, for some reason, she's able to do things that are so similar to things she's done in the past, but she escalates it, like she updates it to where it's just something so majestically impressive, you know? And that's very, very impressive. Right there, how she chooses to go and hit that la 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 la. So she's allowing one movement to really create. I think she took that ticking approach, or strobe, one of those two. That, and so we're seeing how she normally hits, but she's approaching the in-betweens differently, and that's what I really like about this. It still looks like her, but it's like, you could tell her confidence of the track, which is incredible, but see how she's hitting it. She's hitting it the way she wants to hit it, which is very, very impressive. That right there, very stable there. She didn't bobble at all, and that's what made that look so beautiful. And how she turns and she ends up extending that leg out. That was so beautiful. That was beautiful. She drags it, so she turns it in more like a coupe drag, and then she extends it out to nice straight leg. Don't speak. That's beautiful. That hush. She takes that moment, and it shows maturity of movement and maturity of how confident you are as an individual who moves, and as an artist, just having the fact that she's able to do all of that and then freeze and take that moment to just be like, let me be for a second. Mad impressive here. I love it. She is choosing to do a couple of these shifts with the chest. We've seen it a little bit earlier, and I just noticed it here. Right here, how she dips down, it is different than doing that split. She drops there. And that there was super cool. Was how she drops, and then she uses the hips and isolates to bring it up. She doesn't choose to snake it. She uses the hips and isolates it there. It's beautiful. And she hits and she's like, I nailed that. Come on. Brilliant.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
이겼어, 이겼어.
And then they're ending up dancing to the same track. So it's Vessi this time.
레이디바운스, Vessi.
이리가 나올래? 메시 나가, 메시?
They're acting, yeah, they were like, Vessi, do you know it? And she's like, yes, I know it. And they're like, let's have Vessi do it. So Leaidybounce operates at an advantage for every round because it gives them a second to understand, calibrate the track to be able to know what's going on. That didn't work in their favor, I don't think, for the second song because the song dropped out at a random part because they didn't know it, and that's another indicator of how I knew that. But here, she's melting, it's really nice, but I wanted to take a really key thing with what Vessi's doing. A lot of what she's doing is very similar to what we've already seen her do in her 1v1 against Yoonji. That's a really big thing that I notice here. I personally love what she does. I love the way she attacks it, but is it strong? Is it strong enough to counter what Cera did? I don't think so. And I think it's very, I think it's a bigger gap in differences between Cera and Vessi here, but I think it was a lot shorter, like a smaller of a gap between Yoonji and Vessi in that battle that I saw already. I love this here. Boom. There's just that moment. I love that with just a little reverb, melts it out. I love that boom, boom, boom. But remember, we've already seen this into a dip. We've already seen not quite this type of reverb that she showcased, but a lot of her handography, framing of the face, a lot of those sequences are something we've already seen set up similarly. And I think that's what operated differently here, I think it was smart, I think that was just this, even though it's a different track, it did read similarly.
오케이.
Yeah, I don't think anybody knows this track in this room. Whaackxxy's like, I'll take it. No one knows it, but she said, I'll take it. So good. So good. And what's really nice and interesting here is that when you notice here, you think that she knows it, but she's doom, like, let me see.
오케이. 너가 나갈래? 나 나가? 리즈 나올까?
Or maybe she does know it. I don't know. There's dialogue there. Let me see if I know it.
너가 나갈래? 나 나가?
She's like, do you want me to go? Do you want me to go? Okay, that's what she said there. She said, I'll go. Okay. So, the beat drop here. Yeah, so I mean, honestly, she caught the beat very well. Very good chance she may actually know it. But how she's choosing to tick through that, it's very polyrhythmic as she's setting it up in the lower half. And then as she bleeds it in, she's choosing to wave it out. Love that. Super cool. And I think a lot of people are taking it back because they don't know the track. And it definitely matches musicality very well. And now she sets it up very different pocket than how we've seen from Whaackxxy. Normally we see heavy whacking from her. We're seeing whacking take more of the back burner here. Really engaging more in robotic, more in the waving and popping and isolation realm, which is very fun. We've seen this from her, but normally this type of stuff is on the back end, but it's really cool that she's using her leg to create more of that trigger effect between her arm, taking it out with the through with the arm triggering the leg to drop out, which is super fun. Love that boom boom. My only note with that second head ISO, it kind of stayed in place versus traveling all the way down. Only note there for that. Waved it through. Love that. So do. So you can just tell she's very familiar with operating with tracks that are not in her wheelhouse normally. It's an all styles battle realm for you. Roll through, super fun. Love that where she kicks her feet and then she does that triple tap. Really nice. Tailors into what she did with the arms earlier. Beat change and then a boons boons. I personally really enjoy exploring house with this part of the music, but whacking looks pretty nice here as well. It matches well because of how he's approaching the track. He's like like is very quick. Like his syllable usage is really extravagant here, and so it really helps with the overheads that she's doing and bringing, because I think that it just makes it so full. Like I think it just fills them up a little bit, and she has musicality to track that, and it's really nice. I love that where she chooses that she hit that syllable in that way. Super fun. I love this. She set it up really well. Love her pockets she chooses to explore. And when you notice that the song keeps building and building, it doesn't drop out at all until it does. So how she's hitting everything is really nice. I think some of her transitions are just a little bit muddled, probably because it is hard to find and catch the different beats on this track. It really is. She is really exploring a lot here in the beginning, how she set it up. She's choosing to kind of approach internally with her arms in this position, which looks really cool and it's a nice pocket, but when you're trying to range out a little bit more, that's something that can also help you. Notice this is my big indicator of me thinking that Biggy doesn't know the track, because it drops out, but her movement became more extroverted there. She wouldn't typically explore that type of part of the music that way. I think she got lucky with her groove. Boom, boom, boom. Normally you hear that. Doom, doom, doom. Normally there's more basses to cater to that type of groove. I like it, but that was an indicator for me. She's trying to make do with what she's got track-wise. You know. Yeah, and so it's really nice that she got lucky with having her hand near the top part here that is feeling so tall, like tall, that wordplay. She caught that wordplay, and that's what's really fun about freestyles too, especially if you don't know the track. It can be a sense of encouragement whenever you end up hitting something musicality-wise or wordplay-wise or anything like that, where you're hitting it and you're like, I didn't realize I hit that, and it just feels really good, and it helps you get in the groove of things, and it just helps overall. So I really like that here from her. Yeah, that do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Like, that's really fun. Just that little sequence that she did there, drumming it up from the leg into the upper body and down to the other leg. Super fun. But I would say that some of her move, like, pockets were pretty repetitive on the track. Even though the track shifted, she didn't shift as much as the track did. Gave her opportunity for it, and I think that's another reason why I am gonna confirm that I really don't think she knew the track, because I think if she did, she would have made very different textural decisions. But Whaackxxy, I think it was a way closer call. She may have known it. I don't know if she did, but I think she's so fluent in how to explore all styles tracks. You know, this is more of a hip-hop track, but like being able to explore or knowing when the build is supposed to happen, when the drop's supposed to happen, she understands the risk, and she's able to gamble more efficiently is really what my thought process would be for that track. Now diving here, they know this one. You can tell she knows this one. She is popping off here. Energy, low-key. I know this was a part of there was like a little trailer showing the reactions, and a lot of people thought this was Jam who had this track. No, this was just a random track being used. Look at that, Jam's popping off right there. Some of them are like, ooh, I wish I had this track, but honestly, I know they're clean into the finals, so I think they're sitting pretty, letting other people dance to it, I think, personally. Yoonji did a great job. She hits this really nice, let me see. She's using her diaphragm a lot to control this chest, and how she's choosing to create these hinges as she's going about creating the angles in her setup. That very beginning she did, it really looked like she did I felt like she was doing a little bit of a traveling network. Yeah, like, you know, like the network from Nigeria, right? I think like, no, like it's cool. I like that she traveled, and just the energy that she has there is great. I really love it. It's a whole vibe and a half, I tell you what. I love that boom, 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 ah, bless America. That right there, boom. How she chose to just chill out there for a second before popping off in a different way. That right there, boom. and that's indicator she knows her track. I think just she came out super quick. She also was able to hit certain beats that normally people wouldn't risk it, you know, if you didn't know it. That little static right there. That is so fun seeing her. So she's also taking whacking more on the back burner here, really allowing the track to hit, and she's approaching it similarly to how Whaackxxy approached her track, which I love, and both work. Like, this is definitely a pocket we're used to seeing Yoonji explore on the aggression side in comparison to what we saw in her 1v1, and I love it, that energy right there, that ba da da da, wah! That was, wah, she turned, ta ba ba, that was such a captivating moment right there. And how she chose, it went subtle, and then she built it to more aggressive as it went from the back, and it protruded more towards the front vocally. Whew. There's so much depth to this. That right there, just so, this is what I love about this, is that this is something that honestly for me, I am trying to do with waving, is whenever you're exploring a completely different pocket in your lower half, and then your upper half is justifying whatever style that you're fluent in. So for this case, it would be more of an Afro pocket with more of a whacking aesthetic, and that is very cool seeing her do this, and she's doing it well. Honestly, I think how she's integrating the two, normally you don't see those two go together, but she's doing a really nice hybrid here between, like, and it still looks like her, you know, and I'm just a huge fan of how she's going about this track in her way, and it definitely is very competitive in this approach, for sure. Yeah, just that whole thing, she's here and she goes dun dun dun. Now we have seen her approach, like whenever she's fighting the, or dissing the lady bounce, like you see her kind of approach that in that way. We've seen that before from her in other sets, but it still feels very well to that. Now we know that Nob is the resident Afro dancer of Lady Bounce. I love her energy here. Really fun. I love seeing Harimu, of course, yelling her. She just, I love it. Nice little happy feet there. Super fun. She's taking more of that viral, that's a lot of things that we see in the viral side of Afro. I know there's like Amapiano as well, which is a whole genre. It's not, I wouldn't count this as Amapiano genre track, you know, but it's like, I know there's Bacardi, right? Bacardi, and it's a mix of Bacardi and like that deep house jazz music to an extent, or just deep house jazz. And I'm used to seeing these moves in that context because that is my algorithm on the virality of content. That's what I see. And so it's nice to be able to very easily recognize it here. So it shows her approach and it shows her attempt at fluency at this, you know, and the guada guada right there, and how she approaches it, she drops it. She's like, there's no way that they can beat me at this track. It's really the approach there. As she hits that boom, da-da, that held and that hit. Love it. Yeah. I love her approach to this. Very strong, I'd say, out of like that right there. Boom, boom. We've seen Kirsten do that. I know that is really, really popular kind of groove and pocket to explore with Afro. Love this so much. I would say out of my three from Lady Bounce, I would say Nob definitely brought it the most out of the three. I would say with Mana Queen, though, I really loved how each of them brought themselves to the table. It's freaking sick. Like, genuinely. Now, I don't know if they did the judging on, they pick Lady Bounce or Mana Queen based on who had the best relays, or if they did individual. Like, okay, Mana Queen won this one, Lady Bounce won the second one, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But for me personally, I think Mana Queen held it down for sure. And I think they should take this round. I don't know. I know it's a hidden round and it's just really fun. I love this because I think it brings more of an authentic representation of the battle scene a little bit more, at least with the way it's either you know the song or you don't, and good luck either way. It's really kind of that approach. I just love the differences between the tracks. You had a hip-hop track, you had more of a pop vibe, you know, more chill. You know, it still had upbeat moments, but it was definitely more chill than the hip-hop track, and then more of that Afro track, right? So in general, though, I think each group did a great job, and each one had a great set that they brought to the table. I just think that Mana Queen really presented the aesthetic of the tracks in a very unique way. I think at least a couple of them did, and I think that it was definitely very captivating what they brought as well. I think it's just this was just such a great round, and I'm floored by some of these elements and moments that they did, because it's just very impactful, and I just absolutely love that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I was helpful in some way. I've always enjoyed watching dance, and I've really enjoyed watching Street Woman Fighter Season 2, and these battles are no different. I absolutely love the discussions that come about from watching these, as well as extra context and insight that a lot of you guys provide for me, and it really helps me grow as a dancer and as a human and as somebody who analyzes this stuff. So if you want to see more Street Woman Fighter content, whether it's Season 1, Season 2, or Street Man Fighter, all of that is starting to be released on YouTube, but all of it is there on Patreon for you to view ad-free, whole vibe and a half, and some things that can't make their way to YouTube for copyright reasons are also hanging out over there if you want to go take a look. Thank you guys again for watching. It's always been a pleasure, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.